guys, it's your girl Kelly. I hope everyone's doing great today, and thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you're not new here and you're returning to the channel, thank you guys so much for coming back. I really appreciate every single one of you guys. And if you're new here, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, guys. I would appreciate it. You know, no pressure or anything, but and if you like the video, please give it a like. You know, let me know in the comments down below and all that good stuff. And I'm going to just get right on into it today, guys. So this is going to be a pretty quick video. I wanted to come on here just because I kind of went into a rabbit hole last night about the Idaho 4. As usual, you know, just doing some research on the internet, just trying to see like what things are out there. And I found a Reddit thread that brought me all the way down into a rabbit hole. So I thought I would go over that with you guys here today, and I want to know what y'all's thoughts are on this thread and what people are actually saying. Some speculation that's been out there in regards to possible motives or possible connections to the victims here of this crime. And so, without further ado, guys, I do want to say that, unfortunately, like, okay, so I was looking at this Reddit literally last night, and I'm kind of kicking myself because I only took like a few screenshots. I was planning on coming back here and, like I said, doing this whole deep dive with you guys into the thread itself. But of course, today I get on and it is summarily been deleted. So I did find some screenshots. So I can attest to this this being, you know, actual screenshots of posts and comments and things that are you know, were on the thread last night, but unfortunately Reddit has removed it today. So we're just going to go over some screenshots. I'm going to talk about some possible, you know, rumors that have been flying around, and I just want to start off by saying everything in this video is alleged. It is all speculation. It is all my opinion, and it's not to be taken as fact or anything. It is just strictly for us to have a discussion on, speculate, and we are trying to find justice for the victims of this crime: Kaylee, Xana, Ethan, and Maddie. So they are the prime motivation in all of these videos. We want to see their legacy live on. We want to see justice for them. And yeah, so without further ado, guys, let's get into the thread. I'm going to just pull it up right here. I'm going to start with, like I said, I could not find, you know, I could not find the actual thread because they deleted it. So we're going to start with the screenshots. And then I'm going to kind of talk about some of the things that I have been hearing. So let's get into that. All right, y'all. Let's see. Okay. All right, guys. So, okay, so it's kind of like a little bit hard to follow. So that's why I said, you know, it's just going to be kind of like all over the place for as far as like the screenshots go. It's not like a steady stream of like consciousness, but we're gonna try to do what we can with these. Okay, so this comment was basically asking about the route through the house, or the route through the second floor rear sliding doors. And this person, Inside Looking, was the name of the account, right? So the Reddit account was UserDark145, and I believe the screen name was Inside Looking. And they were commenting all over the place, all over different threads, speaking in terms that like made a lot of people suspicious. So a lot of people in the comments like were accusing this person of being the killer. Of course, they came out and said, you know, like, oh no, I'm not the killer, you know, like I'm not him, I'm not the guy. But, you know, people were just speculating because of how he was talking and the information that they were giving on these different threads, making all these different comments under people's posts and things like that. So it was just a lot of suspicious activity, like a lot. Like their whole entire Reddit was dedicated to commenting about these murders. So, of course, see the screenshot here, they posted, killer enters sliding door and exits sliding door. If KM were targets, the path doesn't cross XE. So basically saying that, like, if Kaylee and Maddie were the targets, then there would be no reason for them to go and target Ethan and Xana. And so if XE, Ethan and Xana, were targets, the path doesn't cross KM. E and K did not reside at the house, therefore X and M must have been targets. So basically, And this is how they like people talk in Reddit. Like, it's just a whole shit show, guys. I have never really been a Reddit deep diver, but this has brought me to a whole new way of life. So basically, they're saying that, and this has been the speculation that's recently come out, that actually, as it turns out, that Xana and Maddie might have been the actual targets, which it makes sense, you know, because of the simple fact that Ethan did not live there, and neither did Kaylee at the time, and so possibly that, like, if they were being watched, you know, these girls in this house were being watched, then they could have taken this as like a crime of opportunity, and like, oh well, Kaylee's visiting, so like now's my chance, you know, to get all of them basically. But I think that originally, it's possible, you know, this is a theory, you know, like I still don't know. I still tend to think that, like, maybe, I don't know, like, I really don't know what I think at this point. I still kind of am leaning more towards, like, Kaylee had something to do with the motivation behind it, just because, like, they struck on the very night that she was visiting, but who knows? So this is just a theory. Do with it what you will, make your own determinations, all of that good stuff. So it makes sense, you know, and then they could have been an extra, you know, like, oh, Kaylee and Ethan were just kind of like, you know, just basically like an add-on, like an afterthought, you know. But I still don't understand, you know, what was the reason for leaving Bethany and Dylan alive, you know. I guess I still struggle with that, you know. I'm not trying to say that they had anything to do with it, but I don't know, it's just very, if I was either one of them, like, I don't even know how I would be existing right now. I mean, I would be a complete mess, because you literally, like, you were so close to death, and like it makes no sense why your life was spared. I mean, so it's just like, I would be so thankful to still have my life. I mean, I pray for them. I really do. I mean, I don't think at this point that they really had anything to do with it. Who knows? Nothing has been solidified, so at this point anything is up in the air, but I don't know, it's insane. I couldn't imagine how they were feeling. So let's go on to the next screenshot. See, right here, and I wish that has like dates, but these are just screenshots, so unfortunately not. Being on the run is not fun, in my opinion. And I guess this was in regards to a comment that someone made about, you know, the killer being on the run. And so people were commenting underneath, do you know from personal experience? He does, because he's Brian. And so somebody again posted the screenshot of him posting the layout of the house, and that comment that he made about who they thought the targets were, okay? So let's move on. Okay, I think the killer lie in wait in the house, either after the first two roommates got home and in bed, or before any of them got home. It's less risky to arrive ahead of time. 1, if he made sounds entering, it could wake a roommate who could investigate, ruining the plan. He needed to be able to control the situation of one person wakes, the plan has failed. Would be able to scope out the house and see where everyone settles. 3, waiting inside is less risky than stalking out the house from the outside, where he could more easily have been seen by police, and it was a cold night. 4, he might have made a sound or freaked out the dog, which might be why K and M were calling Jay. This theory may be wrong, but for some reason it stuck in my craw. And okay, so let's read this. He said, in response to that theory, no, killer was outside before murders, in my opinion. So, okay, you know, that's do with that what you will. It's just the thing is that, like, why everyone was speculating that this was in fact the killer's Reddit, like his secret Reddit, because obviously he had another one where he posted allegedly that that survey or that study or whatever, but it's the way that this person was talking and commenting on literally every aspect of the crime. And when people would comment, you know, back at them, it's like they wouldn't respond or like answer to why it was that they were making the speculations or the accusations, or even like the, you know, the assertions that they were. So it was just very weird. But another thing with this, guys, is that, like, if this person was responsible, right, and he acted alone, what about the dog? Like, why would he take care to put the dog in a different room? This was something I didn't address on my last video that kind of I thought about afterwards. Like, why would he do that? And, like, how would the dog have not, you know, caused some sort of fuss seeing a stranger in the house. I mean, obviously this dog was probably used to seeing all kinds of different people traipse in and out of that house, but it's late at night, you know, everyone's asleep, and I don't know, dogs can sense things that, you know, humans can't. You know, they have that like sixth sense about them. So it just really makes me wonder, you know, that was a whole like, you know, aspect of this crime that I thought was very weird. The fact that the killer put the dog in a different room, took the care to do that instead of just like, you know, either killing the dog or you know, letting the dog out the house or whatever. You know, it's like, why would he take the care to put it in a different room? And he put it in the room upstairs, apparently. I don't think that's been confirmed, but that is a speculation at this point. So that was something that I thought about, that I thought was odd, because my whole theory before was that, like, because the dog didn't make a sound or didn't alert anybody that somebody was coming in, was because maybe he knew or was familiar with the killer. But we'll see. We'll see, guys. Still have a lot of information that we don't know. All right, so moving on. I've been surprised at how few people have brought up the fact that Maddie and Xana worked at the same place, and they are the two people whose rooms were targeted. Okay, so this is very interesting, and this actually makes a lot of sense to me, because okay, this is actually really good. I read this earlier, but like, yeah, this makes sense. And then, of course, the person commented, likely X and M were targets. Same work, same sorority, same house, same majors, different floors. And that's very interesting, guys. And so that goes to the theory that Kaylee and Ethan were collateral damage in this whole debacle. But if the killer was watching them, which we can all probably speculate that he was, he would have known that there was extra people in the house. And he would have known that, you know, obviously, if you're watching and targeting Xana, then you would have seen them walk in together, her and her boyfriend. You would have known that he would have been in there. And so that creates a risk factor that, like, is, you know, how do you get over that? Like, because he's a man, obviously, and this is another man. You have no idea what this man is capable of, Ethan, you know, and so that's pretty risky. And so my thing is that maybe he wasn't watching them, you know, maybe he wasn't posted up outside the house watching and waiting for them to get home. Maybe it was just that he arrived late, and, you know, but then that doesn't make sense either, because then how do you make sure that whoever it is that you're targeting is going to be inside that house? You know, it's like, there's so many different factors and elements that, like, it's just, you could sit here and, you know, break your brain over, but it's like, I tend to lean more towards that he was waiting outside, he was watching their house, he saw Maddie and Kaylee walk in together, he saw Xana and Ethan walk in together, and he knew that they each had the extra person there. Obviously, maybe he thought that Kaylee wouldn't be sleeping in Maddie's room, maybe he thought that she would be sleeping in a different room, but he had to have known that Ethan would be sleeping in Xana's room, and that adds a whole different level of complexity that, you know, I guess he must have been ready to deal with that situation, because, you know, that's exactly what happened. But this makes a lot of sense as to why the other two girls were not, like, harmed or targeted in any way, because that's not who he was going for. And another thing that's been circulating a lot online in comments and, like, different places that I've been seeing is that, like, yeah, Maddie and Xana, they work together, okay, at this place called Mad Greek. And apparently this was a vegetarian type restaurant, and the killer, or the suspected killer, this Koberger guy, he was apparently like an avid vegetarian. And that just, I mean, honestly, let's be honest, he looks like the type. He looks like the type. He doesn't look healthy or well. And vegetarians, I'm sorry, you guys need to eat, y'all need to eat meat, okay? I mean, whatever. Make your own decisions. It's your life, you know, but listen, I don't trust a man that doesn't eat meat, okay? I'll just say that. No offense to anyone out there. I'm just kidding. It's totally jokes. Just trying to lighten it up a little. But anyways, so that is a thing, you know, that, like, basically Maddie and Xana worked at this vegetarian restaurant, and apparently this guy used to come in and frequent this restaurant. So that would speak to the connection that he had to these people, and it would also speak to, you know, I guess not really motive, because like, why did he want to kill them? Maybe he's just a sick freak and he just, you know, liked them, or, you know, just tried to hit on them and maybe they rejected him at some point. Who knows at this point? But it's very interesting because Xana and Maddie did have a lot in common, and they were the only two out of the four that were living in that house at the time. So that also makes sense to me. And so I did want to, in when I was reading the actual Reddit thread last night, there was a another comment about Kaylee had actually left a review. So if he was watching them close enough, maybe he saw this, and, you know, it's possible that Kaylee was also like a secondhand target. I'm still not like disavowed of that notion that she had also some sort of something to do with the motivation behind doing this, because why this night, you know, especially if he knew that Ethan was going to be in there, why did he choose that night? It might have been his last night that he could have gotten all three girls at once, you know, and then just like he just decided he was going to deal with Ethan. And a lot of people were saying that Xana and Ethan's room was the first room because he wanted to take care of that, you know, the big risk factor being that another male in the house. So I want to show you guys this little review from Mad Greek that Kaylee actually left 2 months ago, guys. My experience here was amazing. The server, Maddie, made our experience extra special. Food was amazing. The sampler platter is to die for. So, I mean, that's just so sad. Not only like the wording, but like just the whole thing, the whole situation of it all. That, you know, and that's something that people do. Like, I've worked in restaurants before. I would go and like leave my friends little comments, and, you know, just to kind of, you know, just as a little, like, you know, it's something like the girls do, you know. It's just like, just a nice thing to do for your friend. They get kudos at work if somebody mentions them on a Google review or something like that. So I just thought that was really sweet, and but also very sad, and the wording was especially interesting. So so yeah, guys, and then also just kind of another little tidbit that I was thinking of here was that, remember how I told you on the last video that Maddie had been Googled, and you can view this, like anyone can just go and look up the analytics of when and if their name had been Googled and how many times, and she had been Googled like 9 times, like a few days right before these murders were committed. So he obviously was, and I don't know if anybody looked up Xana. Maybe I will try to do that for the next video to see if I can see the analytics of each one of their names. But I did remember seeing that somebody had done that search on Maddie, and I thought that was weird as well, because who's Googling Maddie 5 days before, or however many days? I think it was 3 actually, 3 to 5 days before these murders were even committed, and her name was out into the public sphere. So pretty weird. Okay. So I think this is continuing on with that. Exactly. Those are the rooms that were entered too. I think the fact that Kaylee was only there for the weekend made people assume she was the target, along with her father stating that her wounds were worse. But that doesn't necessarily mean that she was the target. The two who had the most in common that night were M and X. And I have trouble believing there was only one target, given that they were attacked while they slept in their beds in different rooms. Okay, so, and this is the next screenshot. If and when they have a suspect / someone arrested, will there be enough info about this person to be able to identify them if they're posting on these subreddits? And says, write them a letter and find out. So I don't know what that's supposed to mean, or why this was included on here. I guess this is the whole screenshot. So, crosses my mind every day. Would be insane if he's actually posting on here. I think he just lurks to see how close we can get with some theories or accessories after the fact, putting out false information to hinder the investigation. If that's the case, then digital footprints will loop them into the fold. So, yeah, it's interesting, guys. I mean, what do y'all think? Is it possible, like, this killer was posting anonymously on Reddit, like, so out in the open, so brazen? I don't know. It's very weird if he was. Okay. So this next one says, the killer entered and left via the rear of the house and used the hill to walk to parked car on Walenta. if he used car or he walked home if he stayed locally. Too much police activity out the front at Bandfield for the perpetrator to have entered and left any other way. So, and then this person, the alleged killer, wrong. Killer was parked in parking lot behind house and drove off from there, in my opinion. Okay, so this seems the most likely to me as well. Killer's car would be spotted on one of 2 cameras we know about in the area. The apartment on Linda Lane has camera facing Taylor, and a west facing neighbor's camera covers Walenta in the background and maybe coming up King. One of these 2 cameras probably captures the white Elantra coming and leaving. And the alleged killer said exactly. Crime scene was also expanded to the parking lot and not to Walenta, which I had not heard. So that's an interesting tidbit to provide there. Okay. And then here, let's see. We can't see that top comment, but he commented on something about a timeline. He dodged a bullet, in my opinion. 100%. And this other person said, excuse you. Another person said, I think that poster means he could have been Ethan 2.0, murdered in his girlfriend's bed. So the breakup was lucky for him, just like it was lucky for Jake that he was in Boise. Yes, that's what I mean. So I guess they're talking about Jack or Jake. Somebody, dodged a bullet, meaning that Jake was not in town at the time of these murders, or else it could have been assumed that he would have been in Maddie's bed that night and could have possibly been murdered, which is also crazy to think about. So, okay, let's move on. This was another interesting. This is also my thumbnail. Did the killer find X's bedroom by accident? And this person said killer went straight to X's room. It was not by accident. And there's no in my opinion behind this. This is like a straight statement that this person made. Okay, interesting. And then somebody commented, then why go upstairs? That's what LE is trying to figure out. Why don't you tell us, sir, if you know so much? Okay. Multiple suspects for multiple victims. So this was a speculation, and he commented speculation 1 killer. Why are outside handles different? Not sure what you mean. I don't know about where you live, but the locks on my outside door are more secure than the locks on any internal doors. If you mean why have they possibly treated door handles differently, they probably haven't. I would imagine if they have removed handles from outside doors for analysis, they will have done the same with internal doors. Would this mean entry was slider? Perp didn't close it when he entered, so he just took off with it still open. No marks on inside handle then. Okay. So here's somebody speculating about the order in which people were murdered. They commented that they didn't know. There's just a lot more down here, guys. I will include this this link in my description down below. But there was a lot of discussion surrounding this case, and this entire Reddit was dedicated to commenting very suspicious looking things under different posts about these killings, and people were just doing a lot of speculation about this being the guy. And now the post is gone. So right here, somebody was speculating about a whole bunch of stuff, and he said speculation. This is not a thrill kill. So then, what was it? If it was not a thrill kill, let us know, Mr. Killer Guy. So. Is this just like all of the screenshots in the world ever that existed? Okay, so yeah, let me go back so I don't, oh my gosh. Anyways, yeah guys, so y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. Like I said, this was the original. I searched inside looking, and people were commenting and just saying a whole lot. So if you're interested, go to Reddit. And you can view this just by searching Inside Looking or UserDark145. And I will post, like I said, the screenshots of all of this in my description box down below. So I want to get into one last thing before we go. And that was apparently the killer sister, this is interesting, wrote a Uvalde poem. So I wanted to see if we could read that because, okay, here we go. Bereft of their laughter, there is now not a sound as we lower our children into the ground, small hands and feet buried 6 feet deep into the earth of the world that failed them. So I thought that was interesting, guys. Rest in peace again to all of these people. It's one of the most tragic things that could happen. This case has, you know, hit a lot of people very hard, and I think it's because you see these young, vibrant people who are just starting out their life. You know, they have so much ahead of them. You know, they're just young, beautiful people, and it's just should never have happened. You know, one person to take out all 4 of these people, it's incredibly sad, and it's just it demands that justice be served for them, because um, you cannot get away with something like this, and you know, it would not be right. It would not even there would be no peace, no justice would equate to just an unsettled feeling for so many different people. And I think that I really hope that the Moscow police know what they're doing and they have the right person, and you know, we find out what exactly transpired so that people can have some sort of peace and you know, at least some sort of you know, closure with the situation. So y'all let me know what y'all think down below, guys. Again, this is just gonna be a quick video. I just wanted to come and go through that those screenshots. I wish we could have gone through the entire thread so you could have seen it yourself. I'm like really still kicking myself about that. You know, I wish I would have taken, you know, like recorded my screen or whatever, or just taken more screenshots. But it is what it is. You know, that's just the nature of of this case being as highly publicized and debated as it is. So, but y'all let me know, guys. Please like the video if you liked it, and subscribe to the channel. That would help me out so much, guys. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so if you would be one of those, I would be so honored, and I would appreciate it, guys. So, y'all stay safe, and definitely aware of everything, your surroundings, and make sure that you guys are looking out for one another, okay? Until next time, guys, I'll see y'all later. Okay, bye.